Ever wonder what really goes on in those hospital labs? Where they're like running tests and figuring out what's wrong with people. We're about to dive deep into that world, the world of specialist biomedical scientists. Those are the folks working behind the scenes, kind of like medical detectives, right?
It's true. We usually think of doctors making diagnoses, and they're definitely important, but it's these specialist scientists leading departments doing those crucial tests. They're putting together the puzzle of what's making someone sick.
It's like they're analyzing blood, tissues, getting down to the nitty-gritty of diseases. And we've got some awesome insights from RoleCatcher, that career platform, right? Their stuff on specialist biomedical scientists is fascinating. Sounds like this job is way more than just looking through a microscope, huh?
Oh, absolutely. It's leadership, it's research, it's even working directly with patients. All these things kind of woven together. And yeah, that makes it demanding for sure, but also super rewarding. It's not just about data and numbers. They're collaborating with the whole healthcare team, using cutting edge technology to directly help people get better.
That's what makes this deep dive so interesting. Whether you listening are going to meet someone in this field or thinking about a science career or just, a science nerd like me, this one's for you.
Mm.
We'll break down what this job's all about, the good, the tough stuff, and hopefully you'll learn something new along the way. So where do we even start?
Well, picture this. You walk into a hospital lab, it's buzzing, equipment everywhere, that sense of urgency in the air, fast-paced, high pressure. You got to think on your feet.
Intense.
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher didn't sugarcoat it either. They talked about long hours, unpredictable schedules, even working with hazardous stuff. Takes a certain kind of person to handle all that.
No doubt. And we can't forget the emotional side of it. Dealing with serious illnesses every day, that takes real resilience. It's more than a job, it's a calling. You need both the brains and a big heart, I think.
They really stress those safety protocols too. And it makes sense, right? It's not just about you, it's about everyone in that lab and the patients they're working to help.
Exactly, it's all connected. But for the people drawn to this kind of work, that desire to make a real difference, that shines through, even with the tough parts. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. There are some big advantages to this career, too.
Okay, good. Let's get to those pros and cons. RoleCatcher gave us a pretty good list. On the plus side, job security, which is always nice, great earning potential, and room to grow in your career. Plus, that feeling of purpose, knowing your work directly impacts patient care. That's got to be rewarding.
And the learning never ends. Medicine's always changing, so these scientists are always learning new things, going to conferences, reading the latest research. It keeps your mind sharp.
But then there's the flip side. Like we said, those demanding hours, the high-pressure environment, could lead to burnout if you're not careful. It's all about finding that balance, knowing yourself and what you can handle.
Totally agree. Self-awareness is key in a field like this.
So, say someone's thinking, this sounds amazing, but how do I even become a specialist biomedical scientist? What's the path look like? Any secret handshakes?
Well, no secret handshake, but a strong education is a must. Think degrees in, well, it makes sense, biomedical science, medical laboratory science, molecular biology, genetics. You, our listener, you're all about getting information fast. That'll come in handy. And it's not just like that first degree. You're learning your whole career in this field. Conferences, journals, got to keep up with those breakthroughs. It's a lifelong thing. And even if you're not, like, wearing a lab coat every day, knowing what's new in medicine, it's important for everyone.
Yeah, it's like having this, I don't know, secret decoder ring for understanding how medicine works. Even a little knowledge goes a long way, right?
Yeah.
Makes you a better advocate for your own health.
Exactly. Now, even if you're listening to this, thinking about your career, and maybe it's not in a lab, what's interesting about these specialist biomedical scientists, they've got skills that work anywhere. Analytical thinking, problem solving, that sharp, critical mind, those are valuable no matter what you do.
Like they've got that Sherlock Holmes thing going on, but with microscopes instead of magnifying glasses.
Right. And let's not forget communication. These scientists, they got to explain really complex stuff clearly, not just to other scientists, but to patients who might be scared, confused. Being able to break it down like that, superpower in any job.
For sure. And it made me think about RoleCatcher, how their whole platform is about helping people in their careers. Those AI tools they've got, like that CV and resume builder, that's amazing.
It's like having like a personal career coach right there on your computer. Help you tailor everything, practice for interviews, even helps you get noticed by employers. Pretty cool.
Speaking of journeys, what about the career path for a specialist biomedical scientist? RoleCatcher lays out some clear steps from starting out to, running the whole show. What are some of those milestones they go through?
Well, you start as that entry-level biomedical scientist, right? Hands-on, doing the tests, analyzing those samples, all with guidance from more experienced scientists. Building those basic skills, mastering the techniques, getting comfortable in the lab, all that.
I loved how RoleCatcher included like an example profile of someone at that stage. You could just feel their enthusiasm, fresh out of school, ready to make a difference. Shows you don't need decades of experience to do important work.
Exactly. And then you move up, right, to junior biomedical scientists. They're given a little more independence. They're doing more complex testing on their own, interpreting results, even helping to develop new lab techniques.
RoleCatcher really highlighted that collaboration aspect at this stage too. Working with clinicians, researchers, they're becoming a bigger part of the team.
And that example profile at this level, super interesting. Someone with a master's degree, maybe specializing in something specific like diabetes or molecular biology. They're hungry to learn more, going after certifications, really taking charge of their career.
I love that drive, that passion for pushing the boundaries of what we know about medicine.
For sure. And then finally, we reach the top, the senior biomedical scientists. Now it's all about leadership. Managing whole departments, mentoring those junior scientists, working directly with clinical teams to figure out those really tricky cases.
It's like they're not just experts anymore, they're shaping the field, leading research, speaking at those conferences, publishing their findings. That level of expertise, it's impressive.
And you get there through dedication, years of it. Always learning and always focused on getting better outcomes for patients. That example profile, it showed that. Doctoral degree, tons of experience, leading teams, and still looking for ways to grow professionally. It's impressive.
It's definitely a journey becoming a specialist biomedical scientist, climbing that ladder of knowledge and expertise.
But I think what RoleCatcher does well is it shows there's not just one way to do it. It's about finding your own path in this huge field. What excites you? What are you passionate about? And never stop learning.
We've covered a lot. Anything standing out to you listening, anything about this behind-the-scenes world of medical labs that surprised you? It really struck me how important their work is, even when they're just starting out. Like, they're trusted with these really critical tasks right away. It says a lot about the responsibility they have at every level.
Absolutely. The stakes are high, for
Yeah.
sure. And that just shows how important that training and mentoring is. But you know what I find really interesting? There are so many different specialties within this field. We've talked about diabetes, molecular biology. It goes way beyond that.
Right. RoleCatcher mentioned hematological disorders, coagulation, which, by the way, that's just a fancy word for blood clotting in case anyone else needed that reminder.
Yeah.
And even genomics, like looking at our DNA, it's like each of these specialties is its own detective agency, figuring out different mysteries inside the human body.
Exactly. And that reminds me of something RoleCatcher pointed out that I thought was really cool. They said a specialist biomedical scientist might be working on diagnosing a blood disorder one day, and then the next, they're analyzing genetic information to see if someone's predisposed to a certain disease.
Wow. Talk about wearing a lot of hats. It's like they're constantly switching gears, using all these different tools to solve these intricate puzzles inside us. Definitely doesn't sound boring. But for all the science and technology involved, I was surprised by how much RoleCatcher emphasized the human side of this work.
Oh, absolutely, because at the end of the day, it's about taking that scientific knowledge and using it to make a real difference in people's lives, to help them feel better, give them information so they can make decisions about their health.
Well said. And speaking of journeys,
Right.
we're nearing the end of ours today, at least for this deep dive. So it's time for that final thought, something to ponder as you go about your day.
Okay, here it is. With all the incredible advancements happening in medicine, AI diagnostics, personalized treatments, how do you think the role of a specialist biomedical scientist will change? Will we see even more specialization, like these niche areas we haven't even imagined yet? Or maybe it'll be more about working across different fields, like these scientists collaborating with engineers, data scientists, even ethicists to shape the future of healthcare.
Big questions, no easy answers. But definitely something to think about. It's clear these scientists are already working at the forefront of medicine. Who knows what amazing discoveries they'll be a part of in the years to come. Maybe this deep dive even sparked a little something in you, A newfound curiosity about the world of medical science.
Whatever you take away from this, we hope it's given you a better understanding of just how important specialist biomedical scientists are. They're the unsung heroes of healthcare, really. And the impact of their work, it reaches far beyond the lab.
So true. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. And until next time, remember to keep asking questions, keep learning, and don't be afraid to explore the unknown.